Oras mga kaigsunan, doon na tayo 13 minutos na nakalabay sa alas 8 sa buntag. Sa katong wala makamatag sa Diyo kagaina kay Sabado karon atong gi-commemorate ang ika-81 nga Battle of Surigao Strait sa karong adlaw. Ang kalihukan dito ang daghan hamok ng mga dignitaries giyalangkuban na sa Australian Ambassador to the Philippines nga si His Excellency Mark Ines Brown, ang atong attaché or Assistant Defense Attaché sa Japan si Commander Kawahata Noriyuki og uban pa mga dignitaries ang atong syudad sa Surigao nga gipanguluhan ni Vice Mayor Alfonso Casura og ang atong opisyalis sa lalawigan Surigao del Norte nga gipanguluhan ni Vice Governor Gid Gokiangke. Atong paminawon mga kaigsunan ang replay na ni siya sa nahitabo kagaina dito sa Battle of Surigao Strait Memorial Museum sa Barangay Punta Bilar, Surigao City. Aniya mga kaigsunan ang live sa Surigao City PIO kagaina nga nanukad dito sa Barangay Punta Bilar.
We will now hear the welcome messages from our esteemed leaders who have graciously joined us today to honor the commemoration of the historic Battle of Surigao Strait. To formally open this event, may I invite first to the podium Honorable Vice Mayor of Surigao City, Honorable Alfonso S. Casura, to deliver his message.
Good morning to each and everyone. Thank you, Lord, for the weather. It has been raining earlier, but when the ambassador of Australia to the Philippines arrived and his family, the rain stopped. Your Excellency, Mark Ines Brown, Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, and his family, together with him, Neda Ali Muhammad, the wife of the Australian Ambassador. Please rise to be recognized. We have also the daughter of the Australian Ambassador, Daniel Ines Brown, or a son, not daughter. Sorry, this is son. We have Sophie Ines Brown, this time the daughter of the Australian Ambassador. We have from the Japanese Embassy, Commander Kawahata Noriyuki. We have also Inuki Kazuhiko, the military journalist, the team leader of the Japanese delegation. Ladies and gentlemen, for the very first time in the commemoration of the Battle of Surigao Strait, this is the first time that we have 38 guests from Japan. We may request them to please rise to be recognized. Isa ka aeroplano sila. Ano kanhi? Thank you very much. And the representing the U.S. is David Helden. And our Provincial Vice Governor, Eddie Gid Gokiangke, and the members of the Sangguniang Panglungsod, and the heads of the agencies that we have here representing the men in uniform. They have been recognized already. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning again. It is my distinct honor to join you today in this solemn commemoration of the Battle of Surigao Strait, a defining moment in our history, fought in the very waters that cradle our beloved city. These historic waters, once a battlefield of thunder and fire, now a passage of peace and memory. As we stand here today, we remember a time when courage echoed across these seas, when brave souls, Filipinos and allied forces alike, fought side by side for freedom. Their sacrifices reminds us that peace was not handed to us, it was earned. We gather not only to honor their bravery, but to draw strength and inspiration from it. The heroes who fought here, Filipinos, Americans, Australians, and even those ones on the other side, the Japanese, all became part of one shared history that teaches us the power of reconciliation and the enduring value of peace. On behalf of the local government unit of Surigao, I extend our deepest gratitude to our veterans and their families, to our partners in the armed forces, the Philippine Navy, the Philippine Coast Guard, the Philippine Army, and to every Surigaonon, the Philippine National Police, young and old, who continue to keep this legacy alive through remembrance and respect. To our young people, may you always remember that gratitude is more than words. It is lived in every time you serve others. Stand for what is right and protect the peace our heroes fought for. It lives in every flag you raise, every rest you lay, every story you share, and every young Surigaonon who learns to honor the peace won on this shore 81 years ago. May this annual commemoration renew in us the spirit of service, unity, and hope, the same spirit that carried Surigao through both war and peace, through challenges and triumphs. As we look back with reverence, may we also look forward with purpose, with ever mindful that the peace we enjoy today is a gift built on courage, and each of us has a part in keeping it alive. As we lay these wreaths upon these sacred waters, once a battlefield, now a calm and thriving passage of life, may we renew our pledge to protect the peace we have won for us and to live with that same spirit of duty, service, and faith that guided those who came before us. From the bottom of my heart, and considered as one of those who perpetuated this commemoration when I was still a city councilor sometime in 1992. Still, I am here to join you, and I look forward that I still have years to join you in future commemoration of the Battle of Surigao Strait. Thank you very much to everyone who stands here today, especially the youth, for remembering, for honoring, and for keeping the flame of history alive. May the memory of this battle forever inspire us to stand for peace, gratitude, and love of our country. May God bless us all, to each and everyone. God bless to each and everyone, and to God always be the glory.
Thank you very much, Vice Mayor Kasura, for your inspiring words. We are also privileged this morning to have with us the Vice Governor of the province of Surigao del Norte. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Honorable Eddie D. Gokianke Jr. to deliver his welcome message.
Thank you. His Excellency, Mark Ines Brown, the Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, representing Republic of Japan, Commander Kawahata Noriyuki, Assistant Defense Attaché, to our uniformed personnel, to the Sangguniang Panlalawigan members, to the Sangguniang Panlungsod members headed by Vice Mayor Pons Kasura, to the provincial directors, to the dignitaries, heads of the different departments of the national line agencies and the local line agencies, our friends from the media, our senior citizens, veterans, fellow Surigaonons, marajaw na buntag sa ato tanan. On behalf of the provincial government of Surigao del Norte, it is with great pride to welcome each and every one of you in the commemoration of the Battle of Surigao Strait. The governor deeply regrets that he cannot be here today due to the unequally important engagement. But he sends his heartfelt greetings and utmost respect to everyone gathered, our esteemed veterans and their families, the local and the national officials, to the men and women in uniform, and of course, to our proud Surigaonos. Today, we gather not just to recall a historic battle, but to celebrate the courage, unity, and resilience that define who we are as a people. 81 years ago, right in our own waters, heroes fought bravely, not for fame, not for reward, but for freedom. And because of their sacrifice, we stand here today, free and proud citizens of this peaceful nation. Our theme this year, Immortalizing Heroism, reminds us that heroism does not fade with time. It lives on every time we choose country over comfort, service over self, and unity over division. Heroism is not just found in the grand acts of war. It is also in the quiet courage of our everyday people. The teacher shaping our students, the farmer tilling the land, and the public servant doing what is right when no one is watching. Your provincial government, under the leadership of Governor Robert Lyndon S. Barbers, will remain steadfast in honoring our past while building a better future. We are committed to programs to uplift our veterans, preserve our local history, and inspire our youth to carry the same bravery and spirit of our heroes. Because remembering them is not just about looking back, it's about moving forward with purpose and pride. So to everyone present, welcome to this meaningful commemoration. May this day remind us that Surigao Strait is not only a place of battle, but a symbol of courage that runs deep in every Surigaonon heart. Maradyo na buntag sa ato tanan, mabuhay ang mga Surigaonon.
Thank you, Vice Governor Gokianke, for that heartfelt and meaningful message. Indeed, we are honored to have our leaders share their thoughts as we commemorate this important event in our history. The lighting of the memorial flame stands as a solemn tribute to those who give their lives in the pursuit of peace and freedom. Across nations and generations, an eternal flame burns as a symbol of remembrance, ensuring that the sacrifices of the fallen are never forgotten. It is a beacon of gratitude, illuminating the enduring courage of those who defended liberty, and a light of hope, reminding us of our shared responsibility to uphold peace and unity for the generations to come. Today, as we light this memorial flame, we rekindle not only the memory of the brave souls who stood for peace, but also the spirit of solidarity among nations, united by history, strengthened by friendship, and guided by the light of peace. To lead the symbolic lighting of the memorial flame, we are honored to have the following distinguished representatives. For the Australian Embassy, represented by His Excellency Mark Ennis Brown. The Japan Embassy is represented by Commander Kawahata Noriyuki. The Philippine Navy, represented by Captain Archibald Dino C. Delfin. The Philippine Army, represented by Lieutenant General Luis Rex D. Bergante. The City Vice Mayor, Honorable Alfonso S. Casura. The Provincial Governor, Honorable Eddie Gokianke Jr. Thank you very much, His Excellency Mark Ennis Brown, Commander Kawahata Noriyuki, Captain Archibald Dino C. Delfin, Lieutenant General Luis Rex D. Bergante, Honorable Alfonso S. Casura, and Honorable Eddie D. Gokianke, and the rest of the members of the province and the city. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we are privileged to be joined by representatives from our allied nations whose solidarity and friendship have been pivotal in our shared history. They will deliver their messages of unity and remembrance as we honor the brave souls who fought in the Battle of Surigao Strait. To introduce our keynote speaker for the Philippines, Vice Admiral Jose Ma Ambrosio Q. Espilita, represented today by Captain Archibald Dino C. Delfin, the Deputy Commander of the Naval Forces Eastern Mindanao. May we now call on Honorable Arnold A. Go, City Councilor, to do the honor.
Our keynote speaker for the Philippines is Captain Archibald Dino C. Delfin, assumed as a Deputy Commander of Naval Forces Eastern Mindanao on October 6, 2025. His role is to assist and support the Commander, NFEM, in overseeing all operational and administrative functions of HNFEM. In addition to his duties and responsibilities as a Deputy Commander, Captain Delfin, Philippine Navy, is also the Commander of Naval Task Force 71, Chairperson of GAD Focal Point Committee, Human Rights Officer, and ESPA Chief Officer of Headquarters, Naval Forces Eastern Mindanao. Prior to his current designation, he was previously the commander of the Philippine Navy Procurement Center. Captain Delfin also occupied various significant positions both in the Philippine Navy and Armed Forces of the Philippines, such as Commander NIF Western Mindanao, Chief of Staff of Headquarters, Naval Forces Northern Luzon, Deputy Commander of Headquarters, Naval Logistics Center, and Assistant Division Chief, Office J3. Captain Delfin started his military career in 1990. When he entered the Philippine Military Academy, he is a proud member of PMA Bantay Laya class of 1994. Since then, he has performed different tasks and immensely contributed to the accomplishments of the Philippine Navy. To further develop his competencies and skills, Captain Delfin took up numerous military courses and participated in different seminars and workshops. Captain Delfin is a graduate of Master in National Security Administration, Regular Class 54, and AFP Command and General Staff Course CL-60. Given his excellent skills as a Navy officer, he commanded various Philippine Navy vessels such as BRP Quezon, PS-70, BRP Bienvenido Salting PG-112, and BRP Leopoldo Rejes PG-847. He was also awarded the Senior Command at Sea Badge for having commanded the Naval Task Force 11 in the Naval Forces Northern Luzon area of responsibility. All through his military service, Captain Delfin has received numerous awards, recognitions, and commendations for his invaluable performance and service to the nation. He was awarded with Distinguished Service Star, Meritorious Achievement Medal, Gawad sa Kaunlaran, Military Merit Medal, Military Commendation Medal, Parangal sa Kapanalig ng Sandatahang Lakas ng Pilipinas Medal and Ribbon, Presidential Unit Citation Badge, Long Service Medal, Anti-Dissidents Campaign Medal and Ribbon, Presidential Unit Citation Badge, and among others. Captain Archibald Dino C. Delfin, Philippine Navy, was born on March 8, 1972 in Manila. Behind his success comes a supportive and value-driven family. He is a proud son of Mr. Fernando Delfin and Mrs. Esther Delfin. He is happily married to Pinky D. Delfin, and they are blessed with 5 children: Nicole Kyla, Audrey Kiara, Dane K., Samantha Kelly, and Theodore Adam. Ladies and gentlemen, our keynote speaker for the Philippines, Captain Archibald Dino C. Delfin. Thank you very much, Honorable Arnold Go, for that very kind introduction. Magandang umaga sa ating lahat, and let me greet all the very important persons who were earlier recognized. Sir, ma'am, to our other guests who are attending, and to fellow Filipinos, ladies and gentlemen, magandang umaga sa ating lahat. I will be reading the speech of Vice Admiral Jose Ma Ambrosio Q. Espeleta, Philippine Navy, the flag officer in command of the Philippine Navy, for this momentous commemoration of the Battle of Surigao Strait. At the outset, and I quote, I extend my heartfelt congratulations to the organizers for hosting the 81st Commemoration of the Battle of Surigao Strait. It is truly a meaningful opportunity to participate in an activity that puts our storied history rightfully at the forefront. In the broadest historical sense, this battle is notable in many ways. It formed part of our four engagement under the largest naval battle in the Pacific, the Battle of Leyte Gulf, and is distinctly known as the last battleship duel in which air power played no part, bringing an era to a close. And while decades may have passed, this decisive event continues to resonate as we navigate global waves of change. We are currently facing daunting challenges unlike any we have seen before, ranging from traditional security concerns and technological disruptions to the emergence of new forms of warfare. Among the biggest tests we face are unlawful actions that go against international law and infringe on our sovereignty, sovereign rights, and territorial integrity. This also impacts preservation of our waters and marine resources for the use of the next Filipino generation. Amid such developments, we honor the sacrifices of those who came before us, countless Filipinos and allied forces who also faced formidable hurdles, yet valiantly contributed during the Battle of Surigao Strait and all other campaigns through fierce resistance in order to liberate the Philippines. They gave their lives to reclaim our freedom and dignity, and it is through their unwavering courage that we can stand here today. It is therefore our sacred duty to protect the peace that they fought so hard to achieve and have paid dearly for. This clarity guides us toward who we must become. Like our forefathers, we are called to be brave, to be defiant against all forms of threats to our freedom, and above all, to love our country wholeheartedly. Our actions do not have to be grand. What matters most is our conscious choice on a day-to-day basis of serving our countrymen and our beloved maritime nation, even in the simplest ways. It is through collective dedication that we can immortalize heroism. Let me conclude my remarks by assuring all of you that men and women of the Philippine Navy have been proactively taking steps to transform into a modern,
and self-reliant force capable of meeting an evolving security environment. Such endeavors draw inspiration from the bravery of our predecessors from Surigao and beyond, and we will sustain the momentum to protect our seas and secure our future, just as they did in the past. End of quote. Maraming salamat at mabuhay tayong lahat.
Thank you, Captain Delphine, for your inspiring words and leadership as we commemorate this important moment in our naval's history. To introduce the representative from the Embassy of Japan, may I call on City Councilor Honorable Carl Dwayne Kasura.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, we gather to honor the lives of the men of the Battle of Surigao Strait, whose courage and sacrifice reminds us of the heavy cost of war and the enduring value of peace. From the ashes of that conflict, the Philippines and Japan have forged a strong partnership built on friendship, respect, and a shared commitment to regional peace and prosperity. In this spirit of remembrance and solidarity, it is my distinct honor and privilege to introduce our esteemed keynote speaker from the Embassy of Japan, a man whose service and leadership embody the values of discipline, commitment, and international cooperation. Commander Kawahata Noriyuki hails from Hokkaido, Japan, and is a graduate of the National Defense Academy of Japan. Since joining the Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force in 2003, he has held key operational and diplomatic posts, contributing greatly to Japan's defense relations and international cooperation. He now serves as First Secretary and Assistant Defense Attaché at the Embassy of Japan in the Philippines, strengthening the bond between our two nations. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in warmly welcome our keynote speaker, Commander Kawahata Noriyuki, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, Assistant Defense Attaché, Embassy of Japan. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Good morning, ma'am. On Nilo Demiloy Jr., Principal Governor of Dinagat Island. On Pablo Dumrao, Mayor of the City of Surigao. Esteemed Philippine veterans, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Marajau na buntag sa ijon tanang. On behalf of our Ambassador Endo Kazuya, I'm honored to read his message. It is a true honor for Embassy of Japan to join you all today in the 81st Commemoration of the Battle of Surigao Strait. We extend our deepest respect to the Philippine veterans whose courage and sacrifice continue to inspire generations. Your service and ultimate sacrifice paved the way for the independence, sovereignty, and dignity of the great nation. As we gather here, we are reminded of the courage, ethics, and of the immeasurable loss endured in the pursuit of peace. To all who fell, and to their families and loved ones, we offer our heartfelt prayers and remembrance. 80 decades have passed since the end of World War II. Having learned the profound lessons from war, Japan has since taken the path of peace with determination and has dedicated itself to promoting stability and prosperity. Looking back at how far we have come, Japan and the Philippines have embraced hope and compassion with each other after tremendous effort to mend bilateral ties. It's a hard-earned peace accomplished through the tireless efforts of the predecessors who witnessed the release of war and inspired peace to our generation. For this, we have nothing but the deepest respect and gratitude for all those who have passed this legacy on to us. Next year marks the 70th anniversary of the normalization of our diplomatic relations. It's a milestone that reflects how far we have come and the strength of our journey. From reconciliation, our dynamic relations has emerged spanning a range of vital areas including economy, security, cultural exchanges, and humanitarian cooperation. In every passing year, our enduring friendship only grows stronger, deeper, and more meaningful. Japan is proud to stand as not only the Philippines' top ODA partner, supporting development across the archipelago, but also close partner on a wide range of areas, from the trade and investment, maritime security to the Mindanao peace process, among others. Here in Surigao del Norte, Taganito Sumitomo Material Mining Corporation has been operating while contributing to the local community through building infrastructure, increasing employment, and preserving biodiversity. I'm deeply saddened by the report of significant damage across central Philippines due to the recent earthquake of the coast of Cebu. In response, Japan provided emergency relief supplies, including tents, blankets, plastic sheets, sleeping pads, poly tanks, water filter, to the Philippine government to the assistant people affected by the earthquake. I learned that Surigao del Norte and the Dinagat Island have also experienced several earthquakes this year. Japan remains committed to coordinating the Philippines' disaster risk reduction and resilience, further deepening the friendship and the trust between our two nations. Japan and the Philippines partnership has evolved a bit beyond the bilateral shares into cornerstone of broader regional cooperation. Today, Japan, the Philippines, the United States, and Australia, once divided by war, but now stand united as partners in this safeguarding the peace and stability in the region. One symbolic of this enduring solidarity is our bilateral, multilateral MCA, which advance our shared commitments to the regional security and upholding international law. Together, through these joint efforts, we stand hand in hand and shoulder to shoulder to advance our shared vision of our free and open Indo-Pacific, a region of peace, stability, and shared prosperity for all. Today, the world once again stands at crossroads. Conflicts of divisions in various parts of the world threaten the very foundations of the international order that have long uphold peace and stability. In this uncertain time, we are reminded that peace is guaranteed, never guaranteed. It must be built, protected, and sustained through courage, compassion, and cooperation. The unwavering belief in the peace unturned by both Japan and the Philippines and our allies and partners continue to contribute to global peace, serves as a guidance principle. Let this solemn occasion remind us of shared duty to protect the enrich this peace, transforming the memory of sacrifice into the promise of better future for the generations yet to come. Together, let's continue to build a world where lasting peace and prosperity thrive for all. Salamat, Karajao. Mabuhay ang pagkakaibigan ng Japan at Pilipinas. Thank you.
Salamat Karajaw, and thank you very much, Commander Norioke, for that heartfelt message of peace and friendship. To introduce our keynote speaker from the Philippine Army, may we invite Honorable Joshua Emilio S. Heli to do the honors.
Our next speaker, assumed as the 14th Commander of the Eastern Mindanao Command on June 7, 2024. A distinguished graduate of the Philippine Military Academy, he earned his Bachelor of Science degree ranking 7th in the PMA Bigkislahi class of 1990. Demonstrating academic excellence, he graduated first in his infantry office basic course and completed his command and general staff course at the Australian Defence College in Canberra, Australia in 2006. Prior to his current position, Lieutenant General Bergante served as the Commander of the Training and Doctrine Command, Philippine Army. His notable assignments as the company grade officer, including serving as the company commander of the Bravo Company 66th Infantry Battalion, 3rd Infantry Spearhead Division in Negros Island. He also held positions such as the commanding officer of the Army Marksmanship Training Unit at the TRADOC, Battalion Commander of the 31st Infantry Battalion and the 22nd Infantry Battalion, 9th Infantry Division in Bicol, and additionally, he served as the Inspector General and Chief of Staff of the 10th Infantry or the Aguila Division. and as the brigade commander of the 101st Infantry Brigade in Davao, where he was able to facilitate the total surrender of the active NPA guerrilla front. He also served as the Assistant Division Commander of the 7th Infantry Division. Lieutenant General Bergante has an extensive educational background that complements his military career. He holds a master's degree in business administration from the University of the Philippines, Diliman, a graduate diploma in strategic studies from the University of New South Wales, Australia, and took the comprehensive crisis management course at the Asia Pacific Center for Security Studies in Honolulu, Hawaii, where he gained specialized training in managing complex crises, enhancing his ability to respond effectively to both military and civilian emergencies. He was born on November 17, 1968 in Jaro, Iloilo City. He is happily married to Miss Nadine Victoria Sevillano, and they are blessed with two daughters named Rexine and Jan. It is my deepest honor and privilege to introduce to everyone our next keynote speaker, Lieutenant General Luis Rex D. Bergante of the Philippine Army.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning, everyone. To the Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, His Excellency Mark Ines Brown, sir. To the Honorable Vice Governor of Surigao del Norte, the Vice Mayor of Surigao City, other distinguished representatives from the diplomatic corps, including the embassies of Australia, the United States, and Japan, our beloved veterans, members of the armed forces and the uniformed services of the Philippines, local government officials, and the proud people of Surigao. A warm and respectful greeting to all. Today, we gather not only to remember history, but to relive the spirit that defined it, the Battle of Surigao Strait, which happened 81 years ago in these very waters. This year's theme, Immortalizing Heroism, calls upon us all to do more than just remember. It urges us to carry forward the lessons of the past into the challenges of today. The legacy of Surigao Strait lives not only in the history books, but in every act of courage, every partnership for peace, and every Filipino soldier's commitment to freedom. As commander of the Eastern Mindanao Command, I take pride in our armed forces' steadfast commitment to safeguarding peace, upholding our sovereignty, and strengthening partnerships with our allies and communities. We continue to embody the same heroism and unity that defined this battle, not through conflict, but through service, cooperation, and the tireless pursuit of sustainable peace and development in Eastern Mindanao and beyond. To our veterans and the families of those who fought this battle, we offer our deepest respect and gratitude. Your legacy endures in the courage of every Filipino soldier who stands watch over our freedom today. And to the people of Surigao, thank you for keeping the flame of remembrance alive, ensuring that generations will never forget the price of peace and the meaning of sacrifice. In war, there is still humanity, and even in loss, hope and solidarity are gained. May this commemoration inspire us to remain unified in purpose, to cherish our hard-fought peace, sustain the legacy of our heroes, and continue our shared journey towards a strong, free, and prosperous Philippines and the bigger Asia-Pacific and even the world. Maraming salamat po. Arigato. Thank you. Mabuhay ang ating mga bayani. Mabuhay ang Pilipinas.
Audio Jungle.
Thank you, Lieutenant General Borgante, for your inspiring message and for reminding us of the enduring values of courage, service, and patriotism that continue to guide our nation's defender. And now, to introduce our keynote speaker for the Embassy of Australia, may I invite to the stage City Councilor Noel P. Catre.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with honor and privilege that we welcome His Excellency, the Ambassador of Australia to the Philippines. His Excellency has built an illustrious career in diplomacy and international relations, having served Australia in various capacities around the world. Before his current post, he was the first Assistant Secretary for the Middle East and Africa Division at the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade, and previously led the Southeast Asia Strategy and Development Division, where he helped deliver the Australian government's Southeast Asia Economic Strategy to 2040. He has also represented Australia as ambassador to Turkey, Azerbaijan, and Georgia, as well as to Iran and Iraq, demonstrating a steadfast commitment to fostering peace, cooperation, and mutual understanding among nations. His service and leadership have been recognized through the Public Service Medal for his work in Iraq and the Humanitarian Overseas Service Medal for his humanitarian efforts in Thailand following the Indian Ocean tsunami. An accomplished scholar, His Excellency holds a Bachelor of Economics with honors and a Master of Arts in Political Science, and was awarded the prestigious Sir James Wolfenson Public Service Scholarship at Harvard University. He also completed an executive program at the Lee Kuan Yew School of Public Policy in Singapore, and he is fluent in Thai, Farsi, and Turkish languages. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving a warm welcome to His Excellency Mark Innes Brown, Ambassador of Australia to the Republic of the Philippines.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Thank you very much for that very generous introduction. Just like to acknowledge a few people. The Vice Governor of the province of Surigao del Norte, the Honourable Eddie Gokian Key Jr., the Commander of the Eastern Mindanao Command, Lieutenant General Louis Rex Bagante, the Deputy Mayor of Surigao City, Alfonso S. Kasura, as well as Japan's Assistant Defense Attaché, Commander Noriyuki Kawahata, members of the Surigao Strait Council and the Surigao local government, members of the Australian, Japanese, Philippine and United States veteran community, including the descendants, family members who have joined us here today. Honoured guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you all. As dawn breaks this morning, I'm honoured to join you here in reverent reflection to mark the 81st anniversary of the Battle of Surigao Strait. Having recently assumed the role of Australia's ambassador to the Philippines, this is my first visit to Mindanao and of course also to Surigao. And I have to say, on a beautiful morning like this, it is difficult to comprehend the violence and tragedy that took place 81 years ago. Sadly, very few of the brave sailors who survived this historical naval battle are alive to share the stories in their own words. Fortunately for us, the Battle of Surigao is relatively well documented, and with thanks to the city of Surigao and the province of Surigao del Norte, we come together each year to retell those stories of courage and sacrifice. Australia's contribution to the Battle of Surigao Strait, the world's last big gun naval battle, included a cruiser, HMAS Shropshire, and a destroyer, HMAS Arunta. Our ships were part of a large Allied force commanded by Rear Admiral Jesse Oldendorf of the United States Navy. I won't recount the tactical details of the battle for which you are no doubt familiar, but instead I'd like to share some reflection from the late Royal Australian Navy sailor, able seaman David Matiske, who was here on that fateful day 81 years ago. In the hours leading up to the battle, able seaman David Matiske, a junior gunnery sailor in HMAS Shropshire, sensed his ship would be put to the ultimate test. He knew they were well trained, but he also knew the Japanese Imperial Navy would give their all in battle. David recounted, "I told myself there was no point in being afraid, that now was the time to be as effective and efficient as possible. Under no circumstances can I let down Shropshire or my shipmates. I thought of my family and home, my Christian upbringing, and through my mind ran a few of the prayers taught to me as a child, including the all-encompassing and sufficient for all needs, the Lord's Prayer. As the battle neared, David descended into the hot, noisy, sweaty shell room he was so familiar with, likened to a dungeon below the waterline and blind to what was happening outside. There the sailors waited. Some sat silently, others talked about mundane things while listening to the distant thumping of gunfire from other ships. As Shropshire was drawn into the battle, she began firing her guns in rapid succession, with David and his shipmates working furiously to replenish the shells of ammunition for successive rounds of fire. Shropshire and David survived the war. David concluded his time in the military in 1946, but as some of you would know, David continued his service in other ways. He documented his experience of the war and worked tirelessly to ensure Australia's contribution to the liberation of the Philippines was not forgotten. But David's work was not just about commemorating what Australia gave or lost. It was also about raising awareness of why we fought and what we gained through a deep and lasting connection to the people of the Philippines. David returned to the Philippines on multiple occasions into his 90s, and while he passed away in 2022, his legacy continues. I know he had friends among you here today. I also know those bonds of friendship didn't end with David. They have continued through his descendants, with another generation of Australians forging their own bond with the people of Surigao. Last year, David's grandson Mark and great-granddaughter Bridget travelled here for the 80th anniversary, along with David's good friends Ken and Mel. They were joined by the son and daughter-in-law of another Shropshire veteran, able seaman Stan Nichols. Mark and Bridget scattered soil from the David's grave in Australia on the gardens and waters surrounding this very memorial. And in return, a little sand from Surigao found its way back to David Matiski and Stan Nichols' graves in Australia. The Battle of Surigao resulted in the deaths of thousands of men, and this commemoration allows us to pay our respects to those who made the ultimate sacrifice. And as we now face some of the most confronting circumstances in our region since the war, I draw inspiration from David's story. David recognised both the cost of war and the value of peace. Australia is doing everything we can to prevent conflict and to preserve peace. This is why our economic, security and diplomatic cooperation with the Philippines is stronger than ever. And together with our great mates from the United States and Japan, we honour the legacy of our veterans through our ongoing commitment to a peaceful, stable and prosperous region. To the people of Surigao, on behalf of Australia, thank you for your continuing friendship and everything you do to ensure the events of 81 years ago are always remembered, lest we forget.
Thank you.
Mga kaigsunan mo kato si Australian Ambassador to the Philippines, si Mark Ines Brown. So din itong tapuson ang kining oras sa city government nga inyong nabati ang atong replay sa 81st Commemoration of the Historic Battle of Surigao Strait. Standby sa sunod nga programa ang SNSU ug ang komunidad kuman. Sundan usab kini sa paglaom og kalambuan sa Hinatuan Mining Corporation og mosunod usab ang mga pahinumdum giya sa mayong panglabas ni Doc Brian alas 11:30. Unya alauna sa hapon ang programa sa Cooperative Provincial Cooperative Development Council. Inyo madungog alauna ngadto sa alauna imedya sa hapon ug ang Tagom Cooperative alas 2 sa hapon. Salamat ug maayong buntag maradyaw na adlong Sabado. God bless Surigao.
Kini ang simbianan sa RP